Hello, everybody. This is Frank with Iron Age News, South Florida Conservative News Service. It's Sunday, September 28th, 9:47 a.m. And before you get back to Sábado Gigante, I would like to cover a major issue. In fact, the only issue that the Democrats are worried about when it comes to shutting down the federal government. If you will notice, the last day or two, Hakeem Jeffries, eyes widened with crystal meth, is wandering around doing videos saying Trump is out playing golf while Rome burns, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas Trump says you've never come to me with anything meaningful. And the whole issue boils down to the Democrats being the champions of healthcare, where in fact they are actually the champions of healthcare for illegal immigrants. So let's get down and talk about this, and then off you go. Chicharron for everybody, right? You've heard this song and dance before. The Democrats and their friends in the media are like, there will be no Social Security checks. Medicare will collapse. The sky will fall. Cannibalism, the Donner Party, peasant land seizure. It all starts now. But the truth is, Social Security checks will go out. Medicare does continue. The lights stay on. And more importantly, paychecks for the politicians are going out as well. The scare tactics are political theater. It is criminal to scare old people in the state of Florida, which is where we are. But yet, Mr. Jeffries and the rest of his transgender band have no problem doing it. So what's really at stake this time, and this is why the Democrats are willing to drive another shutdown, they're desperate to keep illegal immigrant health care subsidies flowing. And they don't want you to know about it, and they don't want to talk about it. So on paper, the law says illegals don't qualify for Medicaid, Medicare, or Obamacare subsidies. And the Democrats will point that out till there's the end of the planet, right? But the catch is this: billions still flow to cover illegals through loopholes. Emergency Medicaid pays for every ER visit and childbirth. Community health clinics that are funded by federal block grants are wide open. Fraud and identity games slip people through the cracks all the time. And mixed status families where the kids are citizens and the parents aren't open the door to federally subsidized care. So when Democrats say to you, we don't insure illegal aliens, they are absolutely lying. The cash is moving. It just moves through the back door and into the hands of the people who want it. So let's look at where the money explodes, okay? And we're going to do this in one of the few states just to give you a flavor, because they are always going to be Democrat states. The whole plan that the Democrats had by flooding the country with illegals is kind of different than the plan was to flood Europe with Muslims. They just wanted to wipe out Western culture over there. They're much more nihilist organization than the American-grown socialists are. Here, it was to make one-party rule and establish a socialist caliphate that they could then run the country as they wished. Every state that is a blue state that is going to be a key for voting for any major election is going to have a disproportionate amount of illegals in it. They need them because they figure they're going to fight the ICE units, which, by the way, is insurrection. They should all be arrested. Everyone who has been on television who has told you to fight against the federal agents, they are leading you to be arrested federally. I know if I had the opportunity, we will make sure that none of you sons of bitches ever gets a job again, because you would do it to the people on the Republican team for a lot less. But I digress. So let's roll through these couple of states and you see what we're talking about. California, of course, number one, the People's Republic of. They have opened Medi-Cal to all low-income adults, regardless of status. That's 8.4 billion with a B this year, 7.4 billion with a B next year. It is totally unsustainable. Even Gavin Newsom is floating freezes on it. All right. He had to do that to keep his real boss is happy lest he be, hit by a bus or whatever happens to the Republican guys that we don't have to care about, right? Illinois, their immigrant health programs ran up to 400 to 900 million in liabilities before the state slammed the brakes on it. Washington, D.C., their local plan for illegals covers 27,000 people, and now they're cutting it because they are $457 million in the hole. How would 27,000 people suck up $457 million? What is it that they're sick with? Really, right? New York City, over 143 enrolled in a taxpayer-funded NYC Care program. That's a 20% increase in just a year. Once again, it's going to be a system where we don't care about status. Now, if you compare that to Florida, which is where I am, and Texas, which is falling apart also, they don't say it, but they are, they only provide emergency coverage, bare federal minimum. Yet even Texas, like I said, they're falling apart, reported a $121 million uptick in just 1 month spent on the care for illegals. And this is not illegals that we've captured. These are people that we know are when they go to the hospital, but nobody calls the police on them, which is also what happens in Broward County, where I am, and probably in Dade and Palm Beach as well. We are the bluest counties in the state. We are the liberal scumbags of the state of Florida. Nothing we can do about it. There's too many that moved here during COVID and are moving here again because they were so in love with Haji Madani up there, right? So blue states are burning taxpayer billions to become magnets. Okay. Then the red states were kind of stuck with the ER bill anyway, right? But they have to magnetize this for a reason. Why are they willing to shut down the government to preserve this? Is what you have to say to yourself. You know why, right? Free health care helps anchor illegals in Democrat strongholds. So that's voting. They are future voters. As far as the Democratic Party is concerned, they will fight against the Constitution of the United States, against the people of the United States, against the duly elected officers thereof, to keep the illegals in the country, because it's not just slave labor. Every illegal immigrant today is a potential naturalized voter tomorrow. Democrats know which way those votes will go, and they know they will no longer have any serious political opposition in any of those states that we discussed. They will de facto become a socialist monarchy, or whatever they call themselves at that point, beholding to no man and even fighting against the federal government. Okay, budget hostage taking is another issue, which is when the Republicans push back, the Democrats are going to cry, you're taking away health care for families. In reality, we are protecting the poor families, because there are billions in subsidies that we're wasting on these other people, which would add to the quality of care for American citizens. So this is not just about seniors, and it's not about veterans. It's about political power. Okay, the Democrats have been pretty agile on starting to reclaim the black vote, because they got that whole Jewish thing going again, which was smart of them, I guess, if you're looking at it from a purely vicious power dynamic, which is the only way they look at things. Okay, keeping these people in the country regardless of what they do also is a situation, because you can see what's happened in England, had the rise of lawfully voted in or not Islamists into the state governments there, or whatever they call them, councils. Okay, so here's who's really paying for this. Okay, the American taxpayer. If you're listening to this, probably you as well, because you're an American and you're not happy about paying for other people's stuff. You pay through ER reimbursements, emergency room reimbursements. Anybody can go to the ER, and a lot of people do that. Even regular Americans who don't have money, you can go to the ER, you can be treated. That's how the thing works. And ballooning state budgets, of course, and federal deficits. And when the Republicans resist this, the Democrats lie. They say the fight is about Social Security checks, when those checks were never at risk. Tell your grandparents when you see them this weekend that you love them, And after that, that they will always get a Social Security check. Same with those from the Veterans Administration. If you get your checks from the government for the military, you will always get them as well. And also anyone who is an essential, law enforcement and all that kind of stuff, they always are going to get paid. All right. The truth is very simple. It's very ugly. The shutdown fight is about illegal immigrant health care. Democrats will shut down the government. I'm not saying they can. They will shut down the government to protect it. And they will lie to your face while they're doing it. And that is, once again, I can only stress this so many times. Oh, I'll do it all the time. You are dealing with a doctrine of governance that is alien to you if you grew up in the United States. Socialism in general is totally alien to many people. You see it in a lot of places. They tell you you're not smart if you don't understand, if you don't go along with it, this, that, and the other thing. It's always about race. It's always about power. It's always about this. I'm helping you poor people out. I'm helping you stupid people out, is what they're saying. You dumb motherfuckers who can't do anything for yourself. I am here as an enlightened socialist from Vassar or Harvard to tell you what you should do. Not what would you like, what you're going to get. And that is, if one were to say fascism or any of those other terms, that is a totalitarian society. To keep these people pretty much as cattle, which is what they're doing, and victimize the citizens with said cattle, which is what they're doing, to make areas where people just are fleeing. They're fleeing areas. You are damaging the economics of the state. You're damaging the economics of the country. You are causing race relationships to become even worse than they were. Not that they were bad until you guys started banging away on it from the Obama administration forward. But that's how things are. So that's your Sunday. Tell grandma, grandpop they'll be fine. They can still hold the kids over for Super Bowl weekend. Everything will be wonderful. And with that, I will say good day to you and talk to you later on.